What's up, comic book junkies? If you made it this far to part 4 of the top 50 comic books in Nighttiger's collection, I congratulate you because I'm having so much fun. I hope you're enjoying this. Leave a comment. Let's look at some more killer books.
Nighttiger Comics!
Welcome, comic book junkies. I hope you went and have watched part 1, part 2, and part 3. I decided to break this up because it would have been an hour-long video or more. And we are showing my top 50 books. Now, I wanted to make this a top 25, but I just could not do it because I have too many cool books in my collection. And I wanted you to get a sense of what I like to collect and what is fond and near and dear to my heart. And in this collection, I do have one DC and one Marvel, which I haven't even got to yet. So let's keep moving on and let me quit talking. I walked into my LCS one day and I saw this book and I nearly, my shorts. And it's a really nice copy, number 11. And I think this is 1940, 41. I don't want to turn around right now because I want you to look at it. And obviously this is like a $400 to $600 book. This is probably around 600 in this condition. And so I was like, oh my goodness, and I'm pretty close with my store owner. Shout out to Austin. He's sold me so many great books and great deals over the years. It's unbelievable. So right away I was like, you know what? I told him I'll give you $100 for this. He looked at it. He's like, he looked it up, and I'm like, oh no, how much is he gonna ask? I want this. And he said, give me 20. It's not a key. And I was like, I had to hold it together, guys. I could not believe it. This is out of that store, Vibranium Comics, Ocala, Florida. This is the greatest book I've ever gotten out of that store. Victory Garden. I didn't even know what a Victory Garden was. I did research on it as soon as I got the book, and it was your way of helping with the war effort, being self-sufficient, saving your money so you could buy war bond stamps and bonds instead of going to the grocery store. You grew your own stuff. So and this, I could go on and on about this issue, and maybe I'll show you in here. It has this other cool feature. It has a story where American GI gets shot down behind enemy lines. And through each page of the story, he uses his survival manual. And they go through the whole manual for the story. And I thought that was so cool. This is from 1943. So I ended up paying I paid $25 for that. Thank you, Austin. Man, I'm actually getting a little bit of a high now drinking this caffeine and talking about that book. So I'm actually drinking Arizona Energy. Okay. Now let's shout out Simon Comics, the grandson of Joe Simon. He sold me this book for $400, and it's missing the centerfold. 1941 May robot cover. Action Comics, obviously. I have not read this. I started reading it one day, and you can see it's got rusty staples, tape on the spine. It's pretty fragile, and I fell asleep and woke up, and it had another inch spine split right here. So I haven't finished reading it yet. But if you know me and you've been here to this channel before, and welcome if you haven't, I like to read my books. I manhandle them. I don't, obviously I take precaution, but I'm not tiptoeing around when I hold them because I want to enjoy these books. They were printed and meant to be read. And when I read these Golden Ages, I have to try to imagine what was the kid like that bought this for the first time. How excited was he? And I try to tap into that excitement in the book. This is just a killer cover. I forget who the artist is. Is this Fred Ray, I think? Yep, Fred Ray. Fred Ray, he does the best looking Golden Age Superman. I'm not a big Wayne Boring fan, even though I prefer Wayne Boring over Kurt Swan or Schwarzenberger. because I think Fred Ray's Superman, he really has that Fred McMurray look to him here. And if you don't know who Fred McMurray is, look him up and look at his pictures, because that's who they fashioned Superman after. No, they fashioned actually Captain Marvel after him. But that looks like Fred McMurray right there. So number 36, Superman. And thanks to Jesse Simon for that. Another good friend I met through the comic book community. Okay, so now we're getting to the DC and the Marvel, the only two that are in here. So I want to shout out to Man Cave Parm, who sent me this as a gift. He said with a letter saying how much he enjoys my content. He wanted to show his appreciation. And he sent me this book, man. A nice 4.5 copy of Batman 251. What is this, 1971? 73? Killer Neil Adams cover. Killer Neil Adams interior work. And this is a classic key. It's because it's the homicidal Joker finally brought back to DC Comics. And this is a pricey book. I think when he sent it to me, it was probably a $400 value, and now I've been keeping an eye on it, and it's between $600 to $800. But this is one I will not part with. It has so many great sentiments to it. Not only the key, not only is it a decent grade, but it's from a comic book community member that I respect, and he has one killer Golden Age. And I've actually helped him get one of his Hitler books, the Super Snipe Hitler one. I don't have the date that he sent this to me, but I cried. I cried on camera when I did the video for this because I was so touched. So that's the only DC key that's outside the Golden Age on here. So this is a book I got this year, back in March. I passed on one copy years ago at a store because the Spider-Man's eyes were gouged out on it for $40, which was a mistake. I should have bought it. I finally got it back, or finally got it. Spider-Man number 16, 1964. I paid $200 for that. But it's early Daredevil, yellow costume. I have all the yellow costume issues except for number 1. And just a classic Ditko cover story. I read this. It was worth every penny. So glad to have this book in my collection. One of my very few Marvel grails. I think Doctor Strange 169 and this one are tied for my Marvel key grails in my collection. So happy to get that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. As Jambo says, subscribe. Mike, I showed this to my cousin. He said, why is Spider-Man look so odd? And I was like, that's just the style, baby. Daredevil is actually my second favorite Marvel character. My first is Moon Knight. And then third is Captain America. All right, so up we go. Kid Eternity, number 15. Peter Ross cover. First appearance of Master Man. Also his last appearance, he gets killed off. Beautiful skull cover, man. This is a really tough book to get. Really, really, really. And I bought this one with intentions of removing it and soaking it and getting this spotting off there if I can. But I got a second issue of that. This is a nice bone white, pun intended, clean issue. What year is this from? 47, I'm going to guess. And I'd be wrong because it's 49. 2 skulls on the cover. Kid Eternity, if you don't know anything about him, he has this spirit here that, I can't remember if it takes him to the past or brings historical characters to the future. It's one of those two. So, yep, May 49. Got 2 issues of that. And I got these cheap. This one was $100. Well worth it though. I've seen this book listed for over $1,000. I think someone listed one for $2,000. And then one of the bloodiest covers on Fawcett Comic. This is a Peter Costanza cover with "The King Cole is on the loose, beware." This book's actually come down in price because, so yeah, I haven't looked at prices in quite a while, but I remember when I looked, they had come down. This probably a year ago. So Marvel Family number 77 from 1952. And I have a better condition copy right here. Nah, I'm not going to soak that one. Well, you know what? I may, just because it is pretty dirty. But this one's a lot brighter and a lot cleaner. Look at the bloody hand. Look at the bloody hand. I'm hoping you guys are really enjoying this. I've actually enjoyed the years that I've had to find these, put them together, and I've actually come to, within this year, I've started to come to terms with the fact that my ending Golden Age collecting days are coming to an end as far as new purchases. I mean, I'm not selling anything. I'm not getting rid of anything. I'm not getting rid of these books you see here and a lot of other books, but I am downsizing the collection. Matter of fact, there's a stack back there. See that big stack? And I have another stack in the other room. I went through a short box yesterday. So I am getting rid of a lot of books. This is Triple Threat Comics. Very scarce. I found it for $10 on eBay, and I actually found a second copy for $10. Because it's a Charlton book, and my friend Steve Ogden from Charlton 66 has sent me so many great gifts over the years. I sent him that copy for a gift. Duke of Darkness. But now this book, when it gets listed, is pricey. So I found this back in 2019. I think I found the other one in 2020. But now people know what it is, and it gets listed for lots of money. That's the Duke of Darkness right there, not that guy. So Triple Threat Comics, a one-shot, published by Holyoke, or published by Charlton, distributed by Holyoke. Tell me in the comments what's your favorite you've seen here. What's your top book in your collection? And, I challenge you to do it. Do it top 25, top 50 books in your collection. Thing. So I don't know if I said in this one, but I busted all my slabs out. This was the year I decided to do it. I think I have the 2 ones that I sent in left, which are modern books. And I also have a Matt Baker one that I'm probably going to crack open. One that I just showed in the last video of the Owl, which I have doubles on. And then a book by that Jerry's cleaned and sent in for me. That one I'll probably hold out the longest in breaking it open. So Amazing Adventures. This is a Centaur comic, which these are extremely scarce. They only published from 1940 to 1942. So the books go for quite a bit of money. Just a great superhero cover. Good girl. I read this. Really unique character. He hides and lives at the top of the circus tents. So he's called Phantom of the Fair. And now we're kind of getting down to where I honed the real top 10 in my collection that are coming up. So Amazing Adventures number 1. I believe this may be a reprint of an earlier Centaur comic. But just a odd-looking dress fold there. And this is from 1940. And as you can see, I was in a slab at one time. But, yeah. Amazing, Amazing Adventure Funnies, #1. Okay, this will be the last one, and I'll actually do one more comic. But this is the oldest comic book in my collection, as far as comic book sized regular comic book. Got this at the flea market for $30. The Comics #3, Sheldon Mayer cover, and all newspaper reprints, because there was no superheroes, no original superheroes at this time. So this is 1936, May 37. So it's an early Dell comic. Sheldon Mayer, one of the pioneers of comic books. He was actually a big influence on the Detective Comics, and also on making sure that Superman was actually published. So the Comics #3, we'll leave it here. We'll go to part 5. Oh, guys. So, all right, Nighttiger out, and I'll see you in the next one.